multiple warnings within these systems. But to kind of put all this together for you, the northern tier, places like Hermitage Springs, Lafayette, these are all under our tornado warning right now. Lafayette actually in the clear as far as where the warning is. It's now just to the east of you. And as far as the warning itself goes, that will go until 1:30. So let me pan down just a bit. You're hearing some loud thunder in the Brentwood and Nolensville area. You all do not have any active warnings right now, though. You just have some heavy rain and an intense thunderstorm. It's like it's splitting the area, if you will. Then we get down into southern Williamson County, the Bethesda area, Eagleville. That is where our other tornado warning is in effect. It also includes the Spring Hill area, right there in northern parts of Murray County. And then as you get into southern Williamson County, Thompson Station, you all are just north of where the warning is, where the rotation is of concern at this time. But as we look at this track, it would be moving over things like I-65 here in just a moment, eventually impacting Highway 31 and parts of Highway 16 as well, and just kind of widening this back out, even the Chapel Hills areas in this. So want to switch over, take a look at where our rotation is to really kind of pinpoint it. It's the northern fringe of this warning. It's to the southeast of Spring Hill. So Spring Hill, as far as that particular rotation that's prompted the latest warning, it is now to your southeast. And let me put a track on this again, and we're going to take this out. It's set to go for another 20 minutes, so we'll take this this time 20 minutes right now with movement to the east at 55 miles per hour. And really pinpointing this Eagleville, again, 122, Mount Vernon at 124, Versailles around 128. So this is what we really need to continue to watch, is our latest tornado warning that's been extended into southern Williamson and Murray counties. And I do want to get in slightly closer, and we'll give you a couple streets too of some neighborhoods that could potentially be impacted on this with that rotation that's moving into the area.
Henry, and while you get that down more into street level, I do want to mention the National Weather Service with their tornado warning. With this particular cell, you have heard us say it's a confirmed tornado. On the ground. They are telling us that it has been observed. The latest tornado warning that they have just issued says radar indicated. So the good news is that the rotation has broadened out somewhat. Doesn't mean let your guard down, but it is possible that the tornado has lifted, but the rotation is still there. What that means for you is that with the rotation still occurring within this storm, it means that tornado could easily spin back down very quickly, as what you can see on Henry's radar, where we have that red, that green together. That right there indicates to us that that storm does have rotation with it. You see it right there around Joe P. Road, very close to 431, moving towards Flat Creek Road. That right there is where we could potentially see a tornado again, Henry. Yeah, so to kind of go over some of these streets, as Heather mentioned, Joe P. Road, Flat Creek Road, it's right over 431 right now, the rotation. Doesn't matter if we have gone from confirmed to radar observed. The thing is, these things have been going back and forth all night. Rotation is rotation. And that is something that we need to continue to watch closely. We need to take it serious regardless, because we know these storms have a history of producing tornadoes, unfortunately. So it's right over 431 right now. Flat Creek Road, it's going right along Flat Creek Road as well as it continues to work off to the east. Will impact Ash Hill Road, that's kind of the northern tier where the rotation is, and Comstock Road in the path of this as well as it continues to track off to the east. Everybody in this system seeing some heavy rainfall, probably hearing loud claps of thunder, and of course the lightning with this as well has been very, very impressive with this particular system. We are also joined, she has been with us by phone this evening, our Bree Smith. And Bree, what's the latest as far as what you have?
Yeah, it is an all hands on deck, not just tonight, but it has been an all hands on deck week this week. So we want to make sure that folks know where the greatest area of concern is, and we also want to give that precious all clear. It has been a scary day. It's been a scary week. So we mentioned this earlier, Trigg County, Christian County, Todd County, Logan County, portions of Simpson County, Allen County, you're all clear. Even up towards Bowling Green in Warren County up in Kentucky, you are all clear for a severe threat. Montgomery County, Robertson County, Cheatham County, Dixon County, Hickman County, Stewart, Houston, Humphreys, Perry, Benton, Decatur, you are all clear. We are only concerned about the storms that are directly underneath this line and the areas just ahead of this line. Specifically, 2 areas of concern as far as a rotational threat. Again, you've heard us focus on the storm that has moved through portions of Wayne County and Lewis County. Unfortunately, we are still receiving damage reports out of Lewis County, and I would say this to the folks in Lewis County. I know that it is very tempting to go outside, especially if you've experienced damage or your neighbors have, but it's so critical to understand that there may be active power lines down in some spots, and we want you to exercise just as much caution when it comes to considering the damage that may be near your neighborhood or in a loved one's neighborhood, and making sure that we are not interfering with our first responders' abilities to get to the folks that need that care. So let's be judicious. Let's exercise some thoughtful discretion as to how we head out and make sure that we're still being very, very safe, because we know we have damage reports in these areas, and we want to make sure that the first responders can get to the folks that need it most and that we don't get in their way. The rotation that caused the damage across portions of Lewis County has now passed downtown Columbia. It continues to look fairly broad, and what we mean when we say the word broad is, we often think of the weather as to what we experience right when we walk out the front door or when we're stepping outside, but our atmosphere is around 10 miles deep. And so if you extend about 5 miles up in the atmosphere, oftentimes there are things rotating over our head, but they don't necessarily make it down to the ground. And so when we talk about a broadening rotation, what we're talking about is the fact that it looks like that rotation may not necessarily be touching the ground, but there are still some concerns about it rotating in the upper levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles up. And if it is rotating above our heads, it's not impossible to think that it could stretch back down and touch the ground. So that's really the bigger concern for the rotation that has just about exited Murray County and is now in the southeastern portions of Williamson County. The area of greatest concern is between, it's actually just northwest of Chapel Hill. It's just west of the Eagleville area in Rutherford County. And I would say for folks in Murfreesboro, downtown Murfreesboro, you are not in a tornado warning. But what is left of this storm, whether or not it continues to rotate, it tightens up, or it continues to broaden, I expect it to continue to broaden, but the atmosphere does what it does. It is generally moving into an area that has less ingredients in place to support the kind of strength that it had in West Tennessee and in our southwestern counties. But these storms can tap into whatever they need to. I want folks in Murfreesboro to go ahead and assume that you are going to have a very strong to potentially severe storm on your doorstep. So let's go ahead and get into that lowest, most interior room. Let's take that gift of time. And if you know somebody that was traveling on Interstate 24, let's be that voice that tells them they need to get off the interstate. They need to be in an interior place, into a sturdier structure. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that includes northern portions of Rutherford County and eastern portions of Davidson County. I'll tell you, if you are in downtown Nashville, we can go ahead and give downtown the all clear, but eastern portions, Madison, over towards Opry Mills Mall, Hermitage, even the Donaldson area especially, you're not in the all clear just yet. And that second tornado warning that includes portions of Macon County, Trousdale County, that rotation also continues to broaden just a bit. But, we tell that to you because we're being very transparent. I don't tell that to you because I'm trying to cause you to push your guard down. We want to make sure that you know what we're saying and that we're being very transparent, very authentic in what we're analyzing. But just as I explained to you, with these tornadic systems, it's very possible that sometimes they tighten up and sometimes they broaden, and then they can tighten back up again. And we don't want you to take severe thunderstorm warnings with any less seriousness than you take tornado warnings. At this point, the area of greatest concern for the strongest winds is likely just south of Lafayette, right along the Macon, Trousdale, Smith County border. So Hartsville, the worst of the wind is past you. Carthage, the worst of the wind is just north of you. And the track of this would take it into Jackson County. Again, there's some very strong winds moving through Clay County, just west of the Salina area. That tornado warning, so we have 2 tornado warnings in effect, which includes western portions of Clay County, and then again, the southwestern portions of Rutherford County. Heather, Henry, Matt, I know you guys are keeping a close eye on things as well. Why don't you guys go ahead and take over?
Bree, thank you so much. I appreciate all your help that you have been with Matt, myself, and Henry for tonight. This is a look at the rotation that is up in those the tornado warning that is out for parts of Clay and for Jackson County as well. The rotation within this, again, a little bit harder to pick out when you turn on the wind speed direction as we look into this storm, but we need you, if you are in parts of Clay County, Jackson County, to stay in your safe spot while we continue to watch and monitor this. Henry.
Yeah, unfortunately, I want to show you where we still have to continue to watch for things going through the evening. I'm going to take a look at our map right now where we have got active watches that are in effect. A number of counties have been removed, which is great news. The all clear from Warren County, Kentucky through Simpson County, getting into Tennessee, Robertson County now in the all clear, down through Hickman County and over towards Decatur County. The downside, we do have a tornado watch for all of our plateau counties. That will go until 7 o'clock in the morning. Could it be removed earlier? Well, if that line of storms keeps up the current speed it's on, it's certainly possible. But we do have our tornado watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. Back here on radar, and let's get in for a closer check on our warning that is in effect and taking a look at things for the northern tornado warning that we have for Clay, Jackson, Macon, and Trousdale counties. And just taking a look at the rotation that's with this. And we'll even put a storm track on this for you as well, kind of give you an idea as to where the bulk of the rotation is. So let me go on and just kind of track out this storm with the latest movement of it. Like all of these storms being fairly fast, we have been watching these storms go anywhere from 45 to 60 miles per hour. This particular storm movement is at 60 miles per hour, and it continues to race off to the east. So just putting a track. Here's some of the towns, even though it goes to 145, so about another 24 minutes. We still have to keep our guard up, of course, because these storms have been doing a lot in the way of they may weaken a bit, then they gain strength. But this one right here, we're talking about Cartwright in the next 5 minutes or so. Goosehorn at 119, Gainsborough at 138 with the movement of this storm, and then eventually moving towards the Livingston area at 156. Of course, that's after the expiration time, but it is something that you very easily could see that warning get extended out a bit. Matt, I'm guessing you have some new information as well for us.
Henry, getting a lot of reports from viewers in the Murfreesboro, the MTSU campus area, sirens going off, the tornado sirens going off in Murfreesboro, as Rutherford County is still included in that tornado warning. Now, this is the warning south of Macon County, the one we've been tracking that came through Murray County, southern Williamson County. It includes Bedford, Marshall, Rutherford, and Williamson counties this hour. Murfreesboro, MTSU, the campus there, you're just on the very northern edge of this particular warning track, but as it continues to move eastward at 45 to 50 miles per hour, we do expect this line to enter your area here in the next 10, 15 minutes or so. So you can expect some straight line winds up to potentially 70 miles per hour. A tornado warning still radar indicated in effect, Bedford, Marshall, Rutherford, and Williamson until 1:30. So if you are hearing those tornado sirens there on campus, it's because the warning is about, or this particular system is about to move through your area.
It looks like We may even have a couple different areas of rotation now within this. If you look at our winds that we're dissecting right near Eagleville, a little bit of rotation there, but also just north of Chapel Hill. Looks like you've got a couple different areas within this cell itself that is possibly rotating and could again put a tornado back down on the ground. We've been talking to you a lot about this particular cell. This has been our strongest one of the night here as it moves into portions of Rutherford County. Now as we get closer to 1:30 this Saturday morning, ever since about, I would say 10:30, 11 o'clock late last night, we have had this cell strengthening near Hardin County, and it has produced considerable damage from West Tennessee all the way through our viewing area. If you take a look at the storm reports here, and I'll put a little pointer on here for you, right through Savannah into Hardin County, over into northern Wayne County, Lewis County. It's got wind damage reports right here, but this was possibly a tornado that was on the ground all the way as it moved into Murray County, potentially weakened. At this point, this storm is moving right in between Marshall and Williamson County right now, getting ready to push into Rutherford County. So if you are in Murfreesboro City proper, I do want you to go ahead and be taking those tornado precautions, getting into your safe location, getting down into the lowest level, most interior part of your room with your family, as we are starting to see this rotation really starting to pick back up again. As you look at our radar here, really near Holt's Corner, as soon as you cross 31A, you can see that bright green and that little bit of red right near Beasley Road. This is getting ready to push right over 41A here in the next couple of minutes. Eagleville, Mount Vernon, all the way over just north of Christiana, Barfield, eventually in southern portions of the city of Murfreesboro itself, over towards Dilton, and then eventually over into eastern portions of Rutherford County. If you have heard me say any of your communities, your towns, this is the time to go ahead and act. So we have 2 tornado warnings in effect. The one that you are looking at right now, we've got rotation right on the county line between Williamson County, Riggs Crossroads just south of you and just north of the town of Beasley. It is pushing over 41A. It does look like we have a secondary area of rotation near Eagleville, but it's the one further south of that I would say I'm most concerned with.
If I can jump in on that one quick and pop up Max 3, because even the Weather Service was noting this. This is the one south of Eagleville, north of Holt's Corner. We have what's known as a little bit of a tornado debris signature right here. So it could be a number of things, folks. It could be leaves coming from trees, but the fact that we are getting some returns, this has been an area we've been watching. It is another indication of, regardless of it being a tornado or straight line winds, the wind is throwing things around. This is why it's also not safe for folks to be outdoors right now. So we'll need to continue to watch this one closely, but just a very concerning sign we're seeing here from our debris detection from the power of 5 right now.
You're right, Henry. And you know, our radar, it's capable of doing a lot of really cool things. We're able to not only see, obviously, the rain that comes down with these storms, but we're able to pick up on if radar says, that may be something other than raindrops mixing in there. It's able to tell us the size of different things that may be lofted up within this storm. So when you get different colors right in here, that's showing us that it's potentially because of a tornado on the ground that's picking up damage here. So this is what we call that tornado possible signature, debris signature that we have that's moving over 41A. As Henry mentioned, it's just one more indication that with this rotation tightening up, that we have possibly got this tornado back on the ground. The storm has strengthened back up again. It does look like it's getting ready to move right over Murray Road, and you see this now as we just got a brand new scan in. Not only is this debris detection a little bit brighter, meaning that tornado, yes, possibly is on the ground right here, but it's now continuing to move further east. So Murray.
From the News Channel 5 Network, I'm Carrie Sharp with a check.